What's up everyone, it's Jan Wars and Eli Adam, and here we go, our reaction on Semifinal 1 at Eurovision 2024. We wanted to go live, but I couldn't figure out how to connect my camera, this camera, to live stream, so maybe next time we will go live. So save your date on Thursday night, I will figure it out. But today I just lost all the energy on it, but we wanted to give you some first thoughts we had from the Semifinal 1, and...
So many thoughts.
So many thoughts. Let's talk. Alright guys, welcome back to our channel. You know what to do. Subscribe, like, share, buy me a coffee, give me a super like, or become a member to have some very crazy content just for you. For example, those masterclasses I will have for you on each and single staging. I already have one there for Iceland, which I really like, but I will show you, and I'm showing you there on the example what everything is right there, why it really works in very huge scope and detail. Maybe some things you never realized you saw there, it's there, and that's the reason why you also like it. And yeah, I will continue with the semifinal one. It's the first semifinal we watched together, actually. I think I will not edit it. It will be like a live stream, you know, crazy thing, flow of thoughts. But let's start with the fact that Petra Mede had orange shoes and then suddenly white shoes.
Elegant shoes, elegant orange shoes, then white sport shoes. But I don't know how many saw this. It was fun. It was fun seeing this detail.
What do you think happened?
I don't know. Maybe she couldn't bear them anymore. I don't know. You know, the high heels. It's not for everyone. It's hard, but or maybe they broke. I don't know. Something must have happened.
Like, let's write us in the comments below what shoes she chose. If it was the one she was wearing the whole day in the arena, or somebody fastly borrowed them and they didn't want to choose it on go. But it would be very fun that on every single appearance now she changed the boots. But do you like the dresses of both?
Yes, amazing costumes for the hosts, and very nice made. Very, like, some costumes like this need to be made, you know, like perfect. Also the colors, the accessories. But if I would have been her, you know, with the shoes, I would have made a joke, something stupid. Cinderella, something. I don't know.
In here? I will save your life like this.
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Anyway, the show started with the opening act of three artists who didn't win, but was very popular or are still very popular in Eurovision family. For Eurovision, they are very important. There are Eleni Foureira, Eric Sade, and Chanel from Spain. I like it. I like the opening, but somehow vocally I expect better. Actually, Chanel proved her qualities extremely, in my opinion. The last one, she was really brilliant. It still worked. The slow-mo effect, I would so like to see it more. But in my opinion, in general, it was a brilliant opening for a semi-final and good start of the show. But for you, it was first Eurovision watching like this, right?
Yes, and I must admit that I wasn't basically paying attention to anything, just clothes. Sorry.
Professional deformation, what can I say?
I cannot stop these eyes. They are like this. So
but you like the dress, right?
Of course. Yes.
Like, I remember when there was a slow-mo, she said for the first time, brilliant dress. And I was like,
sorry.
Yes, I expected sooner, but yeah. But
the Chanel's
Chanel dress,
right?
this bluish.
Yes, it reminded so much of an outfit J-Lo wore recently. Also blue, also like this, but they are kind of the same.
Yes,
somehow.
it was kind of the same act like we were expecting from J-Lo, dancing, the Spanish vibe also.
I told you,
choreography.
I was paying attention only to this, sorry.
No worries. No one cares. Like, at least you see that this is a professional deformation. As I look at the act, and I must tell you that I'm looking at them, I'm enjoying them, but I'm also looking at things there. And whenever there's something what somehow doesn't belong there, I immediately commenting everything. So whoever is watching Eurovision with me it's a curse, you know. It's a curse.
No, come on, we are the same. Me with clothes, you with staging
God.
and everything. But we appreciate this work because we know how much work is, behind the cameras.
Yes.
And we don't have this feedback about criticizing other people's work. It's just that it's our own perspective and how to improve it, or maybe to offer another perspective, another vision. I don't know.
Yes, like what you need to know that we are both very perfectionists, like
And
big
passionate.
ones, very passionate and perfectionists. So, and we have our own methods, of course, of working and what to do, and we also understand the job. So this is the thing what we see, especially for improvements. Both of us a little bit different side. Not all the time we agree with each other, not all the time, but we can have a brilliant discussion about it, and sometimes another crazy idea appears, you know. But let's talk about the first artist who came on the stage, which was Cyprus, Celia Kapsis with the song Liar. Greenish staging, very dynamic. I must admit that the camera...
Turquoise,
Turquoise,
not green.
okay, turquoise. That's the differences.
Sorry.
But the thing is that what I liked on it, it was all 3 minutes very, very dynamic. She started a little bit like nervous, it was visible, but then it was like a stream of, it's like a dynamite. And the editing helped it a lot. And what I like, it was a very modern way of editing. They didn't have anything on the stage, they didn't use any prop, they were just having dancing. She was clearly a center of attention, which is very, very important all the time. Everything else a little bit down to earth at some point to see her mainly, but then all the effects and all the light work and everything what was supporting every single beat and movement was almost perfect. In my masterclass, I will tell you what was not perfect, could be even better, but in general, this kind of editing at Eurovision in life, it's possible. Not every show can do this, and this is brilliant at what you can recreate over there, and what creative possibilities just those 3 things, camera movements, editing and lights, can bring you, and also the graphics in the LED, all was connected to one body. One magic which flew 3 minutes, didn't feel like 3 minutes. In my opinion, it was a brilliant start of the show.
Yes, but don't forget about costumes. Costumes are also very important in this.
Of course,
this magic.
But that's why I have you.
But what can I say about her costume? I liked it. It was brilliant. Like for stage, for her act, for her choreography, it couldn't have been better. And I also liked the dancers were with those white t-shirts and the jeans, very casual.
Very casual, very modern.
The boy next door, something like this. And it was very simple, but it worked. It works. It doesn't need to be fireworks.
Yes.
It just needs to work for that specific moment.
I think what is important to understand that Eurovision is not about doing a concert, or if you're doing something like a concert, you must sell it as a concert. But this act was created for cameras, for the viewers, and it was done almost perfectly. What wasn't done, in my opinion, and we also agreed that Cyprus is the one who deserves to qualify. Where we don't agree that much is on Serbia, not because we don't like the song, but I had big problems with the staging, which Ellie didn't care that much, because she liked it in general. I must say, from my perspective, Theodora sang it, performed it perfectly. I think if it's not her, the like weaker artist couldn't stand qualification, because the staging didn't work, and not because of the camera work actually, but because of the light support and graphics. It was too disconnected, it didn't concentrate on where it should go, and then your brain not connecting to it. Also, I cannot wait for doing masterclass for it, because there are so many things which were wrong visually at the not right moment. Like in general, the picture, it looked good, but in the support of the song, for some simple small details, that was the things what, for example, Ireland had brilliantly done, which you can watch in my masterclass, which Serbia didn't manage to happen. And I think the concept was right, the idea of movement, the choreography, because every walking and so on, it's a choreography, was done very nicely, sung perfectly. She was looking amazing. She was looking amazing, but the whole surrounding around her didn't support her as it could. So this was my problem with Serbia. That's why, for example, I didn't put it after all in my top 10. The only reason, because it disconnected me completely. But you had
But
different
I put
opinion.
it and it got through.
Also, you like the lilia, or this ramonda, this flower, which
No,
rose?
that one I didn't like. I didn't. It was. It kind of ruined the atmosphere for me. That.
And in my masterclass, I will tell you why, because it also could have been done better with this flower, and then I will tell you actually now. The flower, no,
You
like this
cannot
is,
help yourself.
no, because I want to explain that, for example, this little detail, there was,
Yes.
it rose, it
Yes.
created a pinkish or purplish color, which should have stayed on the rock, but they were beeping with it, but then it didn't feel it's there. If it's rise and it's slowly gradient all over the rock with this color, and then the color stays there, that would feel real.
Yes.
Then it's like,
Maybe that was the problem,
and
because I also didn't like
with
this.
the lights and so on, so many little details which makes you feel something is wrong, and there were so many wrong with the lights especially. Anyway, then Sylvester Belt Luktelk also, both first three countries basically qualified. I think this is a record of countries qualifying from the first part of the semifinal. I think like 6 countries probably qualify from this. I think yes, 6 or 5 qualify from the first semifinal. One of them was Lithuania and Sylvester Belt Luktelk. What was your first thoughts?
I don't like the outfits. I didn't like nothing.
You didn't even put it in your top 10.
No, I didn't.
I
I'm
did.
upset because he had better outfits. Also on the
In the postcard?
turquoise carpet. Also in the postcards.
Or especially this
Much-
slow motion shot, right?
Yes, much better. Also for the dancers, I didn't understood. No, nothing. Just the red color of his costume, who was connected to the LED somehow at some point with the color behind. But I don't. But this is a tiny detail, with the costumes.
Of course.
But anyway, it could have been done better from my point of view.
Also from my point of view, in my opinion, lack of energy. Like he from the beginning seemed like he lacked of energy. Then they somehow catched it. That not all the beats were supported properly, and that it was having me and losing me, having me and losing me. I think the song is monotonous, and they didn't support it by the staging, which was also a very monotonous. Even it changed colors and so on, beat. But the magic about it, that it gives you the rhythm, it gives you in your face, and it was missing over there somehow. And with combination of him lacking energy, and also he was always dark, very dark.
Yes.
It's very hard to feel the song. It's very hard to feel the song.
Him. I didn't feel him to express something, to see his eyes, to see how he expresses something, how he expresses the song, the lyrics. I don't know. I couldn't feel him.
Yes, I had this similar problem, but for me it was very hard to create 10 songs actually. I think 10 songs.
But it's a
It's a
good
lot.
song. Look, it's catchy.
It's very catchy.
It's a good song. It works.
But it didn't work on stage that much, so I wouldn't even expect that it would do amazingly good at the finals. But of course, it's not a bad choice or something. It's just something what just didn't catch me, didn't take me in. What completely did Ireland. And I'm not a fan of the song at all.
I know.
But this performance, how it's done, I will still won't listen the song in the headphone because it's not a song. But as a performance, as a show, as a body, as a thing in TV, this was for me one of the highlights of the night. Like 100%, this is like a huge congratulations to Ireland, to all the team, because what they've done, what they've managed to do visually, connected with this music, with this theatrical act, it's unquestionably good. It's unquestionably good for a million reasons. Watch my masterclass, but when I saw it, I was like, okay, maybe the vocal something somewhere, but then it's done the way that you're not concentrating on this at all because it just simply works. And whenever you feel like maybe because I'm like this, no, it immediately ending and switch to something which you're again like wow, mesmerized. So brilliant thing. And Ireland, in my opinion, can really think about very, very good results. I don't believe in winning. I still don't believe in it. I would wish it would be brilliant. But for Ireland, this is a relief. And I think maybe this is a new era starting for Ireland in general. And maybe also for Eurovision at some point. Because, okay, I'm not the fan of music, which is something different than maybe it is. Maybe it's just not my thing. but it shows that with very small things you can do wonders. Because if you just imagine how the stage looked, one dancer, Bambi tuck, one circle of candles, and then the graphics and lights, that was it. And then brilliant editing. It was cheap idea basically. Like, it not cheap in the way it looked cheap, but it wasn't expensive.
This is the same situation with me saying that one outfit looks cheap. It's not about the price, it's about how it looks. Because, for example, in Cyprus, they were wearing some basic t-shirts, white t-shirts.
Yes.
They are very cheap. But on stage, in this context, with this, what they did on stage, everything, it didn't look cheap. It looked the right thing.
Because
That's
it fit the purpose.
Exactly.
It fit the
This is the
message,
thing.
and it clearly pop out the way as it should. So, in my opinion, this is the approach, artistic, song-wise. Go straight forward, what is it about? And the essence of this is Ireland act in general.
But you didn't like her change of clothes.
I didn't like the change of clothes because for me it was unnecessary, and she or Bambi dame looked amazingly in this witch. I would keep the witch because then it lost a little bit of this witchy atmosphere. But
but maybe
still it was done this way that I didn't care.
You didn't care. But maybe this was a trick, like a magic, like a spell, and that's why.
Probably unnecessary for me, but. Okay, it worked in general. If this is the only thing I can tell, this is basically the only thing I can tell.
You know what I like the most in this moment, costume, choreography, whatever. I like the shoes.
I didn't see the shoes.
You need to change your glasses.
Or a partner in front of the camera.
No, but she was wearing this ballet flats, for ballerinas, and actually the choreography was also somehow from the ballet.
Because I think this is their background of being ballerina.
Also this, but for example, this for me was, although the song is very strong, powerful, almost aggressive. Also the staging, the moment, the choreography, but this had those flats. Had for me I don't know, they were carrying this softness, delicacy, the fragility, vulnerability. I don't know how to tell it, but this touched me, this detail.
See, every detail in there was made to perfection. I cannot agree more. For everybody something different, but
yes.
as a whole thing, as a whole package, that just this almost no much anywhere. Even though after that went UK with Alexander. Of course, he wasn't competing, and maybe we have a little bit different opinions about it. I will start with the fact that as a staging expensive, it looks with so many ideas very well. Vocally, it wasn't there at all for probably some reason. I saw that this in-ear fall,
yes, he
and
had
so
it
on.
in his hand.
But
in the end.
I don't know if this was the biggest issue for me. The camera work, even editing wise, it was great. At some point, it lost me because it felt like nothing is happening. Where to concentrate? So many kind of things on very small space.
What happening around him?
And he was not like the complete center of the attention. And also the camera was many times very static and didn't help me with the tempo because there was not supporting beat by lights. It was amazing idea. There was some moments, the sexual scene and so on. After all, it didn't look in the whole complex that crazy. Vulgar, or you don't see it that much. I like the ending when he runs through these graphics and so on, but the whole performance was underwhelming for me at some point, and didn't really. I was like, okay, this is probably the best staging UK ever had at some point, but connected to the song, which also doesn't work on me, and the whole package. Especially if I compare it to Ireland, it was like it wasn't working. As a thing, it doesn't work together somehow. Maybe not yet. Maybe that wasn't the right energy or so on. But it was. I expected even more, and I was delivered less. Then I liked every single fragment of it at some point, but altogether,
Maybe it was too much.
Maybe also I had a feeling it didn't really seem live. I think also this was my problem, that it didn't felt live broadcast. It was maybe too over perfectize at some point, that also with the singing, that sometimes he was singing, sometimes it was back vocal, sometimes that you feel like you're watching a music video, but not like Benjamin Ingrosso in 2020 2018, which was the guy who was then having this amazing interval act, but it was even more disconnected to the audience at some point, even though it was ending with the audience
Maybe
in the
that's
background.
why he lost you. at that
Maybe
point.
that was anytime when something like this happens, something is wrong. I'm very very sensitive on this, and in my opinion, it was like combination of not existing beat in there supported, which and then not camera work like this, and also this combination of singing somehow I didn't feel it. I don't know why, but I have a different feeling with Ukraine, which was brilliant. With one thing, the opening. This is for me a little bit
With the water,
with
right?
the water, because it was very realistic effect somehow, which somehow didn't belong to this
I also didn't like this.
atmosphere, which I didn't feel this color. I didn't feel the mood, because after this moment, the rap part when they did they lowered the shutter angle, so you had this weird camera shaky movement, imperfections work perfectly when they are meant to be. And this was the case in my opinion, all of it, even though I'm not sure if I like also the ending with
Me
the
neither.
frame. It's
I
too realistic.
I for sure don't like it, or at least I don't like it how it was put in, in this. Maybe done differently somehow. I don't know how it would have worked, but like this for
I think
me
it's
didn't
too flat,
work.
and also if it looks like a picture but too realistic. I think the idea is great, the execution is not perfect, and the other thing is, but this is a positive thing. What I will say, this is the only song you said you have a goosebumps.
Yes, I did. Yes,
Yes,
I don't remember, but yes,
in the rap part you were like, oh,
yes, because it also had that slow mo or something. Ah,
no,
no, it was the shaking. Ah, yes, with this.
this shutter, lower shutter.
Yes, here I got goosebumps, really. And this effect kind of helped me not think anymore about clothes and just be there.
And also you were commenting the clothes, you liked them.
Of course, I like them because also now I saw a detail that in the previous videos available, I didn't see this, but also for the rap artist,
Alonia?
underneath, of course, I like this cape, and it's connected to the dress of the other singer, but underneath this cape, now I saw this armor, like metal armor,
Like medieval.
medieval somehow, and very long, of course reinterpreted, but this for me was unexpected and a very nice surprise, and also disconnected her with the other artist with the armor on the shoulder, and together, two fighters on stage, really. It was a strong moment.
What was also the strong moment was Poland. That was strong moment for two reasons. First of all, they didn't qualify, even though I was expecting diaspora. Even though what song
I didn't choose Poland.
my mathematic model chose Poland very clearly because of diaspora voting, which is clear. But I had one exception where it's not gonna work, when it's going to be a bad performance. And in my opinion, and this is a sorry to everybody who was involved, but in my opinion, this is the amazing example when I will be doing masterclass for it. I will probably find all the wrong stuff in here, because it didn't work on any level. It didn't work on any level, starting with singing, staging, choreographies, camera angles. It was all wrong, really. And I was like, okay, last year it was wrong as a concept, but this year, I think this song didn't deserve it. This song actually, I kind of like it. This is the
I
song
know.
I never skip in my headphones.
You like
Also,
it.
I think Luna is the really good artist, but how they stylize it, her inner. I think first of all, this is not a song which she would normally sing. She doesn't feel it. She doesn't feel like
You
this
said this from
person.
the beginning. I remember from the beginning
Yes,
when you heard the song for the
and
first
those
time.
concepts, I think they rarely work, and especially when you put artists into something what just doesn't fit the artist, and that was this case in my opinion. I think I didn't expect that they will not qualify just because of the voting diaspora and so on, but in my opinion they just went so below expectation even for this that just everybody said like, okay, I just cannot justify this. I just cannot justify the vote because it's just my country or my neighbor. And I understand this, honestly. I think music won in this case. Also the contest won in this case.
This is good.
At some point this is good.
This is good.
This is good. Also, but I think that we can skip it because that, like you can tell about the dress. I think this was for you. I think a lot. Also for me, but for you especially.
I will.
No, let's like I think viewers deserve your
Yes,
expertise.
But I think also viewers saw what I saw. But when she was performing, I was thinking about those designers or stylists, behind her act. And I was like, poor guys. Poor guys, I don't want to be in their place, in their shoes, to feel what they feel now, because the costume had problems. Like,
Also this.
and I talked before about the costume as being this, I don't know how, too theatrical. In some cases, I like to think when you have a concept, let's say this tower, let's say this is our concept. Okay, and you need to come with an outfit for this concept. You don't make a costume that looks like a tower, This is too childish. I don't know how to say it to not offend,
It's too straightforward somehow.
It's too predictable.
And also it didn't fit the song. Come on, the song was dancey.
It didn't. And for me, this was too
With the
in my
horse.
face, and it wasn't. If this costume would have been well executed, but also this didn't happen, and we saw it tonight.
No,
The execution was bad.
for me it was very funny that even on the stage was two absolutely huge props, 3 dancers after all, and
Yes.
her. It felt empty. That was for me fascinating, like how even this is possible, but somehow they made it. I think that must be studied. But okay,
And
this
also
is.
2 horses on stage.
There was one first like that,
Tiny
the red
big
horse.
horse,
Oh,
twice. It
twice,
appeared
oh my
twice.
God.
And she had 3 changes of outfit. Let's say 3.
Yes, nothing helped. Croatia 7, of course, qualified. This is the biggest candidate for winning whole Eurovision. I will just say that I don't understand kind of why, and also I understand why. Because it's very casual. It doesn't scream for attention somehow.
Or for effort.
Or for effort. It's so
Effortless.
authentically natural somehow, even though it doesn't bring any, in my opinion, very memorable moment somehow. But the rhythm, it's somehow, it's get you. You will always remember it, and also it's very different than the rest. Maybe also because, as you say, it's kind of effortless, and I know that for Baby Lasagna they took a lot of effort probably to get it to this stage, but
For sure.
I think the song is that universally somehow good. Maybe it's not popping out crazy, it will never be a huge hit,
But it's working.
but it's working, and the story behind it is also perfect,
And I like the goats.
and the goats are brilliant.
And the goat cheese. I like it. What can I say?
Yes,
I'm a countryside girl.
No, we liked it, but also it was like, okay, this is the winner, but maybe this is the magic, This is the magic about Croatia, and it would be amazing to have a Eurovision in Zagreb next year. Perfect. But then the sad moment came, the Iceland. But I'm saying sad moment, not
Because
because
it
I didn't
didn't
like it,
qualify.
but it didn't qualify. Because for me, personally, it was the biggest surprise of the night. Because for me, it was the most boring, let's say, casual song with
So for
nothing. But when I saw it, the execution of it, of course, it was kind of a flat or blah blah blah, but it was done by the books. There was nothing wrong on the staging, only on subjective side. You like it or not, but by professional standards, by how it worked with light, graphics, some dramas, her as an artist, brilliant charisma. It was all perfect. I'm very curious about the results. Maybe they were very close to qualifying. And I'm pretty sure that if the juries are in the semifinals, Iceland is qualifying, because clearly professionally, that was absolutely brilliant performance.
It was. But for me, this is not a memorable song.
No.
Like, this is my conclusion overall.
Yes,
I like the costume, I like the performance. Also, for me, you know,
I
it
agree.
was a surprise. Also, with the backing vocals coming on stage and so on. But this song, like, the conclusion for me with this song, like, I like it, I enjoy it, but it's not memorable for me. I don't know why.
It didn't work. This as a
doesn't
song.
work,
As a
yes,
song, I think the
yes.
biggest downside of Iceland performance this year was the song. But how they support the song, the performance,
It was amazing.
that was amazing.
It was.
What I'm not sure about is Germany. Because Germany, Isaac.
Germany didn't qualify.
No, Germany is already qualified.
It's
You
already
see?
qualified. Sorry, I told you that I'm only.
No, this is
looking
good
the
because you're
clothes.
looking at it completely differently. But from my perspective, Germany, they were very criticized because they didn't have a proper staging for Isaac in their national selection. So the conclusion for it to create a staging for him, but they created a stage for him, not a staging, in my opinion, because the whole thing about Isaac is that he's a brilliant performer, brilliant artist, brilliant singer, very charismatic in my opinion, and the whole show, few moments were really good, but most of the show was more about the fires, which took all the attention. Everything was burning, and the attention should be much more on him, more likely, mostly, because then you can feel his emotion, you can feel his
Yes.
vocal, you can feel his expression. This what this guy has is an X factor. He's one of the best artists Eurovision has this year, 100% from professional point of view, and he has all of it. And it wasn't sold. It was just created a big thing around him. We call it a staging, but it was another stage without a staging, in my opinion, with not a proper accent, which is always the artist. And I wouldn't be worried to show him much more close-ups. This is a song which he lives. You can feel it in the vocal imprint he has, in the expression he has. But it's about fire.
No, in the end it has to be about the artist, but here it was about fire.
Yes, but when you have artists like this, you don't need to hide the artist behind the fire.
know.
So this is my problem, but let's run to Slovenia, because for me this was also a surprise after all, because we were criticizing it a lot for the snippet, for the color palette chosen and so on. I think they started very well in the atmosphere, which exactly according to the music video, with this waterish effect, dark
Also
blue.
the smoke.
Also the fog was there, everything perfect. But what I don't like, and I think Raven saved the day by her vocals and charisma so far. They changed also some camera angles, so it looked a little bit better than the snippet. But I need to compare it, but I'm sure that there wasn't those camera mistakes with the contra
Yes.
function as I saw before. But what doesn't work, and what I don't understand, the choosing of creating a sci-fi set on it. Like, it was so technical, very technical setup, instead of being very pagan, very ritualistic, not
Primitive somehow.
somehow primitive, fire-ish, warm, dark, you know, to this, especially with her costume.
To
But
support-
but it create like a sci-fi setup. For me, this is disconnecting. But I'm very glad they qualified, because as an artist, as a song, that would be a shame that Slovenia wouldn't qualify, in my opinion.
I totally agree.
You had
But
some point to the dress, right?
Yes, I'm not very sure. I would need
We can
to
check it
see
now.
it again, but I
Let's
think
quickly check it now. I will find it.
I think that her costume, the details that she had to cover her, see. So yes,
You were right.
because you can also see this part which is in shadow. It's not lightening.
Yeah, the underwear we're talking.
The underwear, yes, the bra and the underwear, because I think they are made of this special fabric, which when you put light on, it kind of lightens up, and on the contrary, when
Reflection.
it's dark, yes, it kind of reflects the light, and it's more visible. And this was a detail I didn't see so far, but for me this was something wow. Really.
For me, what also something was wow is that it still works the way, even if the stage around doesn't work. If the artist has a perfect charisma, which Raven has, and it's center of the attention, which Raven was all the time. You're pointing your eyes on the artist almost mostly. So even though things around takes your attention a little bit more than they should, because they don't fit. she was able to connect with me as a viewer, and because the cameras were pointing at her all the time, they weren't selling anything else than her, not even the dancers, which worked as one body. It's still the better idea than show off the director's choices, in my opinion. So that was Slovenia. Congratulations to Ljubljana. And let's move on to your favorite Finland.
Oh my god. I'm laughing just thinking about this moment. But guess what? I enjoyed it in the end because, I'm a funny person.
She is. Unlike me. No, but I also enjoy it. Come on, I don't like the song. For Eurovision, such songs, of course, are kind of not a good advertisement from some perspective, especially from producers' perspective, and maybe for the future of the contest we can expect much more songs like this, which I think would be disastrous. But as a concept, how it worked on stage, how those guys very realistically sell it as a pure comedy, that just works because it also feels authentic. It goes with the flow, what the song represents. It doesn't try to be something else, anything else. Graphic, oh my god, the graphics in the back, LED, how they recreated the whole arena with this smoke, cloud windows, whatever it was. Just brilliant. It's a huge upgrade even with details from the Finnish national selection, and it just was pure fun. I would rather this is an interval act we will never forget. But okay, it's a Finnish national thing, and they can be proud because those boys did an amazing performance, in my opinion.
They did. Funny guys.
Yes. Moldova was also a little bit funny, right?
In a bad way.
Like by the fact that I think Moldova would be able to qualify regardless the song. I kind of liked it because Natalia Barbu is perfect artist, but what they did with the graphics, like those graphics killed it completely, in my opinion. It was too much. Even though if I'm the director of it, I know that I have no budget. I would do zero graphics. I would exactly do zero graphics. I will do just spotlight. I would sell this. I would normally sell this that we cannot afford more. I would use it as an advantage. I would pinpoint it in the spotlight. Maybe create them a little bit of ambient around, but completely focus because she's such a good artist that she could stand all 3 minutes.
Minimalist.
Absolutely minimalist.
Better than this cartoon, whatever was happening behind her. It was bad.
It killed it.
Bad.
It's very outdated in my
It
opinion.
was kitsch. I can say it because she's my neighbor, let's say. She will not be upset, but it was a totally kitsch. Totally. Like, when you're thinking that this cannot go worse, it went even worse. And at some point I was thinking, what else is missing here? Because everything bad, from bubbles to trees to wings to butterflies to flowers to... what else?
I think they shouldn't invest any money, just bring a nice costume,
Gold.
her, and that's it. But that's for Moldova. Moldova didn't qualify. Even still, we liked it because of the song. Somehow, if in compared to some others.
And I like that she didn't wear shoes. She was barefoot. I like that.
Yes, also this.
Too bad.
Anyway, Sweden. Marcus and Martinus. Brilliant staging.
Also, another funny guys, but not like
Matrix
in this
guys.
kind of fun, but entertainers, charismatics, entertainers, brilliant. Also, but about staging, you can.
So about staging, just I would say that this is the masterclass again of when you can afford it, when you have those ideas, and you do there is not a single note in the song which is not accented in the picture. So for your brain, it's just you eat it. You just eat it because it works. It simply works live. It still feels live because they opened the arena. And I have nothing to say. This is for me top 5 act.
I have something to add. I think this from the whole night, tonight actually, it's the most clear example of how you have a concept. You start with that concept, you go through it, and you finished with this concept. Like I saw this concept from the beginning, also with their clothes, with the dancers, with the LED, with everything, the lights. I saw this concept, the Matrix concept, right? Everyone could see it. But although it's maybe someone would say it's simple, you have this matrix concept, but to take this
to execute
concept, to execute it from the beginning till the very end with everything together, and to stay to this, to stick to this, it's unbelievably hard. It's hard.
It's hard, even though Azerbaijan tried to do also sticking with the concept all the song, but pitifully it just didn't work. Because I think for many people, it was a mismatch between how it looked and how it sounded. That's the only what.
Also with clothes,
Then nothing was basically happening.
fabrics.
It was sci-fi for very localish, in a good way, very folk, very ethno music.
Yes.
And with this, I think you must be less brave, in my opinion, and sell those aspects, because you still need to think about how the song represents, what it represents, what colors it represents, instead of going against it. I think you should go with the flow. It's not because it's easier thing, but it's because it's a logical conclusion. And this didn't work as a.
They also had purple, right? Right?
They had those like glitchy
And purple.
colors.
It was purple.
Yes.
For me, this song, when just listening to it, it has nothing to do with purple, for example. Nothing.
It was cold,
Also with those
but the song is not cold.
sci-fi
Dresses. That was absolutely visually mismatch, absolutely unconnected to what it was
And
representing.
I used to like the hands, from what I've seen so far. But now seeing on stage how they brought them, because I told you I saw the people coming on stage with those hands. It's like, seeing your parents putting the present underneath the Christmas tree instead of the
Also this.
of Santa Claus. It's kind of why it kind of ruined the moment.
It ruined it.
Yes, and
Also
now I
this.
don't even like this with the hands.
Yes, so let's skip Azerbaijan. I think this is clear. Even I like the song.
I voted for this
You
song.
also
I
would
put
like to
on
vote
my
it,
list.
yes. Still for the song, but as a thing, didn't work at all. And also, Australia didn't work that much as I thought, because they had very, very promising start of the song, and I was like, okay, I was wrong. It has this very nice vibe.
It started very nice.
Very nice vibe, but
Yes.
until 1 minute 30, and then it
Chaos
completely
again.
lost me. Like chaos, lost the vibe. So many things we want to show, and how it from the beginning was empty and didn't felt empty. More and more people were coming on stage. It felt more and more empty.
This is what I wanted to say. Although more and more people were on stage, it became the stage even bigger for them somehow. I don't know, empty, as you say. It was very weird.
No, it completely disconnected me at some point, absolutely, and I was like, okay, I don't like it. But what is, in my opinion, working perfectly, regardless if I like the song the most, because I think it's a complicated song at some point. It's Portugal, because the way how they sell the song, how it looks, every single beat, every movement, everything is connected to music. That for me, this is another masterclass. So with Sweden and Ireland, actually, like 3 different examples of how you can approach staging, and all are brilliant in how they are doing it. Absolutely, I have absolutely zero bad comment about it, because there was basically everything perfect. Everything from my perspective. You like the nails? This is for the first time in her life.
I almost forgot about the nails. Yes, this time I liked the nails, because they were there, they belonged to that picture. And at the beginning I was thinking, but why minimalist also with the LED, those nails, maybe although they are white and they fit by color, maybe they are too long. I have this problem, I don't know, but I have this problem because you have the mic here, and you see everything here. That's why I think I have this problem, because I don't want anything to distract me, from your face, from your eyes. Anyway, and then when I saw the choreography and she was kind of leading the dancers, showing them the direction, where to go, where to fall, what to do, then I understood that those nails were like, signs when you get into the crossroads. Left, right, need to show, and then I understood. Anyway, it's a funny little detail.
Funny little details, but there is nothing much more to comment about Portugal because
Exactly.
it just works.
Exactly.
But what we can comment a lot about is kind of Luxembourg, because there are positive stuff and also negative stuff. I would start with the negative stuff, which is the staging, in my opinion. The graphical part of it, the LED part of it, which in my opinion, just also a little bit kitsch with those panthers or what
My
was that?
God.
That was
Oh my God.
that was not
I will have
like
a nightmare with those
like this was very
panteras.
outdated. But what I like three things actually very much. First, and also I didn't like the choreography, but what I really like was how they work with the light, because the light was supporting every single beat moment, so you're still there, it keeps you there visually, it's connect, so the camera doesn't need to dance that much because that beat is doing it for you. Then the other thing was that the braids she had, they make it bigger, but it somehow worked better, thicker.
Because I told you, remember I told you it's about proportions. Because she's tall.
Maybe they listened.
She has curves, shapes, and you cannot put these two kind of tiny tails, exactly. And now they did it, they did them bigger.
Yes, and it worked, and also I think her performance was really good. Like she sang the song the best. I somehow trusted the performance, even there were those things. I actually was very worried. I'm very curious how Luxembourg qualified. I don't know, but I was worried. I didn't even put it on my top 10 in here, because for me there were a little bit better things, better acts or better general stuff for different various reasons. I think what was disconnected from me was really those cheap graphics. It was
maybe for others it worked. This
maybe, or also work that it's Luxembourg after 30 years, 31 years back, and so on, the amazing story and so on. I'm glad for them, because I understand how it is when you come back. At least for me, 2016 was like my first Eurovision, and how it is when you're qualified for the first time, even if you don't do perfect stuff. But for the country itself, and maybe for the development of Eurovision in Luxembourg, this is a perfect moment to start. I would probably approach it somehow for the next years, but I believe that there is a huge potential how to work with the whole country, because I was there and I saw the passion, the hopes everybody was putting in the project, the talent, but also this very energy. The people really cared about the project. They didn't. Not every single person I was there with was going to work. They were going to enjoy. It's the passion, and this not every country has this passion. Yes. And I think now it's time for them to start learning and finding the way, which way they would like to go, which way to navigate, and set up something long term, because I think this is very important for the country, especially of this size, to start with the real concept of where we would like to drive it in next 5 years, because then it will pay off for the whole country as well, because smaller country, better payoff. And this qualification, however they will finish in the finals, I think now it doesn't matter at all, because they already did this check. Very important step forward. And for this, even though I didn't expect it, for this is absolutely important, maybe for also Eurovision, because we need states there to be here, also like Luxembourg, to approach it, because so many countries left and some new came, and maybe next time they will bring like really like fresh blood into it. But what did you say about the general? Sorry.
At least I hope they will not write the name of the song anymore on the LED in the back. This for me was like, I couldn't. It took my total attention when this fighter was written there.
But maybe I don't know. Maybe I think that doesn't really work. So many things over there. I think the song saved it a little bit, and then Tali saved it a lot, because she really did amazing job over there. Like she really did, in my opinion, because then the rest was underwhelming. And then somebody who programmed the lights did a brilliant job, because on the other side, camera work and so on, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't. If I compare it to some other, even the average, that wasn't there. But it doesn't matter anymore. 10 qualifiers on Thursday. But your general feeling from this round, from this semifinal, the last words.
I feel so inspired. I think tonight I will find it difficult to fall asleep because everything will be like this in my head. Why did they choose that? Why they should have chosen something different? What something different? How could I have done it better? You know, small things, bullshit like this.
In my mind is our postcards actually now, because they were kind of like, okay, I understand that you want to save money, a lot of money, but this didn't bring, like, if there are no postcards and only there is only this medley of previous approaches, it would be, in my opinion, a little bit
That
better.
idea was nice.
Because then this collage of the phone shots,
Yes.
I didn't like. I understood nothing, and this is I understand this is a space for commentary when they are commenting the Eurovision. But we were, for example, watching on YouTube, and it brings zero impression, zero exactly. It's just like it doesn't exist. But okay, this is one thing. In my opinion, the rest of the show was brilliant. Benjamin's
Also
Ingrosso, the act.
This is what I wanted to
My
say
God,
about the end of the
brilliant!
show.
That was brilliant. For me, that was the peak.
It was brilliant.
How it was shot, how it was done, like, because what was very fascinating on it, and I think this can be a really nice approach also for some stagings, is that they approach it as a concert, more like Maneskin would say, more like a concert, and sold it and shot it as a concert, and then it felt authentic, and also it's not a mistake.
And he was a showman.
And he also, like, come on, this is
attitude.
amazing artist, the attitude and so on, the dress, this red gloves, the red
Which
microphone.
I didn't see the red gloves.
But then you saw him.
For the first time I missed something.
I didn't, for the first time in the
He
dress.
saw it.
But anyway, I think this semifinal, I really enjoyed it completely. Also, the very drama with the revealing who's gonna qualify, it was done absolutely good. Maybe it doesn't look that perfectly, but the feeling from it is more important than how it looks after all. And it was brilliant. I enjoyed it. Let's wish the best for the qualifiers. Let's wish the best for better future for the ones who didn't qualify, not to get discouraged, because I think there's, in every country who didn't, there's a huge potential.
Of course.
Just I think the approach must be better, especially for countries like Poland, in my opinion, because
Oh my God.
I think that I think they are circling themselves. They are just lucky of what country they are a little bit, but that just doesn't. I think they should stop approach Eurovision as Eurovision and just really sit down and say, like, what we want to do. Like, Poland is 40 million country with amazing artists, various, talented, already established, whatever. But to say, like, what we want to do, because it feels like they want to do Eurovision for Eurovision, but this is not the way how it works or how it should work, or this is a way to hell somehow. I think this, and also I think it's unnecessary for such a country.
It looked like a kindergarten theater play somehow, you know?
Really? But which obviously cost a lot of money. So
Of course.
So this is even worse.
Exactly.
I can understand them all.
This is the situation when everything is expensive. It costs so much money, but on stage it looks extremely cheap.
Because it doesn't reflect the money. Because I can understand, for example, Moldova. We want to something. We cannot afford anything, but we want to look it's spectacular, and it was just a mismatch for this, you know, because they were afraid probably to make it simple. But okay, I can understand it for Moldova, but for me, Poland, it's a different story.
Yes.
It's a different heavyweight. It's a heavyweight, you know. So strong Poland, strong big countries like Ukraine, which is brilliant, and makes it also kind of easy, simple. Even it's not simple, but it was chic.
And
So
I will never forget this armor underneath the cape. Never. This, and it was so long.
Like, I still think Ukraine can surprisingly winning the whole contest, in my opinion, because if from those three, also because I forgot Ukraine to mention as a staging thing, in my opinion, it has somehow wow in it from the emotional factor, not just wow. I'm amazed, but wow as a feeling, which the rest don't really have that much from those heavyweights, let's say. So this is our conclusion from the semi-final one for tonight. I hope you'll enjoy this. I don't know how long talk, which wasn't live, but we will keep keep it live. I will only color grade it.
I was praying for us not to go live. I'm afraid of this.
She's
I'm nervous.
like, come on, I'm always like, and she's like, oh, no, like this and this and this and this. And that's it. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you next time. Bye.